In this video, you're gonna learn how this one thing can help you attract only the best talent overseas, make sure they're a good fit for the job, and reduce costly hiring mistakes so you can scale your agency. Finding and keeping the right talent can be a major hindrance to your agency's ability to scale, and it's not getting any easier. In fact, a HubSpot study revealed that a major pain point for agency owners is finding the right talent, and that over 70% of those surveyed have a hard time finding talent to fill their open roles. Hiring overseas opens your talent pool and removes you from the overcrowded, overcompetitive, and overpriced candidates locally. But just like hiring an in-house team, finding the right fit is key, no matter the tasks or roles you're hiring for. Ultimately, if you can't find good talent, you can only go so far. So how do you create a system that attracts the right people to you and allows you to keep them highly motivated? So we'll break this down into three main parts. Number one, why hiring the right person matters at all and what's at stake when you don't. Number two, the non-negotiable in hiring, firing, and developing employees. And number three, how to implement this to start weeding people out right away. So, number one, why hiring the right person matters and what are the costs of bad hires? No matter where you're hiring from, whether you're looking for a full-time W-9 employee or a contractor or outsourcing work overseas, taking time to make sure it's the right fit for both sides is key. Hiring the wrong person at any level can be detrimental to the growth of your company. One of the most crucial elements of being a successful entrepreneur, CEO, or business owner is surrounding yourself with the right people. And when you hire right the first time, you not only save yourself immense headache, time, and money in avoiding high turnover, but you also begin to create a strong culture where your team can really thrive. And when you hire good fits, you spend less time micromanaging and likely enjoy working together a whole lot more. And while all this seems like a vanity metric, it does have a direct effect on your bottom line. Studies have shown that happier employees are actually 12% more productive. So when you combine a more productive employee with the time you save on micromanaging, you're able to add hours into your schedule that can be used to focus on the growth of your business. And the right hire can free you up tremendously as a CEO or founder. On the flip side of this, hiring the wrong person can be detrimental to your business on many levels. And this can lead you to a cycle of hiring and firing, which reflects itself in roller coaster profits, even if your revenue is climbing. So there are a lot of factors that make up the total cost of losing an employee. But one of the most often overlooked is momentum. If you've been in business for a decent length of time, you know there's nothing better than finding your stride and finding momentum, and nothing worse than when you throw that off balance. Hiring is tough, and the typical timeline looks something like this. So finding candidates, 2 to 4 weeks. Interviewing them, 1 to 2 weeks. Offer the position, 1 to 2 days. If they accept and they have to put in their 2 weeks somewhere else, it's another 2 weeks until they can even start the job. Time to ramp, once they start with you, 2 to 12 weeks. All of that can equal 1.5 to 3 months or more. You have to slow down, take away focus from the priorities of your business, and pick up the slack of what this employee would be doing. And when you factor in all of the above, it's estimated that the cost of losing an entry-level employee, so $30,000 or less in salary a year, is roughly $4,800 every time you have to replace them. Then there's the trickle-down effect on your clients. How your employees are treated and how they feel have a direct result on how your clients are treated. But even if this person does not directly interact with your clients, if you have a heavy cycle of turnover where you're constantly having to replace your virtual assistant and onboard a new one, clients will notice. You'll be stretching your resources thinner and thinner as you work to have to pick up the pieces dropped while you replace that employee. And of course, if you hire a bad fit, and even worse, keep them on longer than you should instead of course correcting quickly, if you have other employees on your team, especially A players, they'll start to wonder what's going on. Keeping bad employees on the team makes your good employees question their value and if this is a place they want to be. So we get the importance of hiring the right people, but how do we know if they're a good fit to begin with? So that brings us to point number 2. The non-negotiable in hiring, firing, and building a team. So Howard Schultz says it best. If people believe they share values with a company, they will stay loyal to the brand. This goes for both your clients as well as your employees. Clearly defined and strictly upheld core values are what will separate your agency, your brand, from all the noise and allow you to attract the right people, both on your team and your clients. This is an integral part in developing your brand and your positioning. But you also need to have these at the forefront of your hiring process and be ruthless. If someone doesn't fit your values, don't hire them. If you do hire them and find out later that they don't exemplify your values, fire them quickly. It's key to uphold these and make them non-negotiable because it will also set a standard for high performance. If your employees buy into why you do what you do and aren't just there for a paycheck, they will outperform your wildest dreams on their own. They are intrinsically motivated and want to act based on their own identity. When people feel they belong to something bigger than themselves, they remain loyal and will always go the extra mile without you having to constantly micromanage or demand more. You can also weather ups and downs much more easily when your team is bought into the heart of your company. They can always leave to get more money, but they won't if they share your values. It's a win-win and everyone is happier. This is the secret to high-performing companies. Yes, they create a culture and environment to keep their employees happy, but that comes after evaluating whether that person will be a good fit or not. They don't expect to bring someone on that doesn't already have their values integrated into their daily lives. So when you're interviewing, ask questions around your values. Have them describe a time when they displayed that value in their own life. And you can tell in someone's response if they're phoning it in or if they use a lot of detail and specifics that give validity to their response. Therefore, interviews should always be to assess values, not skill set. So point number 3, attracting the right values. So you've got your core values defined, you know what you're looking for in a person and what you absolutely won't tolerate. So how do we attract those people? For one, your brand should do this for you. As you grow and share more of who you are as a brand, you'll begin to attract the right talent. But in this case, when hiring a virtual assistant overseas or any overseas contractor or even locally, it all starts with the job post. So if you were to go look at Amazon or Google or Lululemon and find any one of their job posts, you'd notice that it stands out from the rest of the job board. You immediately get a sense of who they are. We all know what they do, but that's not why we follow them. You can get a feel for what it's like to work there just by reading their job posts. And if you aren't the right fit for these companies, that job post will turn you off and you'd skip to the next one. So this is key in attracting the right virtual assistant, the right designer, the right COO, whoever you're hiring. Your job post should be polarizing because not everyone is going to be a good fit. And you only want the people that you want to continue reading your job post. So what kind of language does your brand use? Use that in your job post. Talk about the qualities of a person you're looking for more than just a skill set or knowledge. Hire people and train the rest. If a sense of humor is important, include that in how you write your job post. If vision and drive are important, hone in on that. Just as important as to define what you're looking for is to define what you're not looking for. You can always start off a job post with a "if this isn't you, don't bother" kind of line. And the people that don't resonate with this will move on to the next one. And you don't waste a second skimming their application. Hiring is like sales. Qualify your candidates hard before ever getting on the phone with them or moving to an interview. Not only does this raise the chances that you speak to only people that would be a good fit for your company and your culture, but it also gives the candidate more skin in the game, right? When they feel that they've earned an interview and ultimately earned a position with you, you'll see an increase in performance. So just as much as you're evaluating potential candidates, they're also evaluating you, and your job post is your first impression. And there are more than enough companies looking for a virtual assistant. So you have to sell them on you and your company as much as you expect them to sell you on them. You know what I mean? So to recap, when it comes to finding the right fit, a lot is at stake if you don't take the time to qualify your candidates and hires. It starts with defining your core values, what you want and what you don't want in your employees, and then communicating that right away in your job post. Lastly, make sure to ask the right questions in an interview to assess how well they actually match your core values. So now you know the secret to finding the perfect talent for your team and maintaining a top-notch culture. But do you know how to leverage an outsourced creative team to drive an extra $3,000 a month to your bottom line? Or where to find them, or what to do once they're part of your team? You can get my free training where I walk you through step-by-step over at get.upperhandcreative.com/free-training. And also download my cheat sheet for hiring a VA. I'll link to both of those in the description below. Comment and let me know your takeaways from this video, and I will see you on the next one.